productivity can really destroy your life if you're not careful. And for me, there were changes that I needed to make in order to get my weekends back and live a more fulfilling and intentional life. I made some pretty huge changes this past year in order to have more time with my family and do things like go to the beach and have fun. And one of the decisions I made was a really hard choice, but it is so worth it if I get to spend time with my family. If you're new to my channel, I'm Suzanne, and I live on an organic farm with my husband and kids. And I live in BC, Canada, in a really beautiful part of the world. And not only am I a farmer, but I'm also a gardener. And gardening has been a really big passion of mine for quite a few years now. And that is one of the biggest changes that I made in order to get my weekends back. You know, sometimes we need to reassess things in our life and shift things around, make changes, and really be intentional with our choices so that we really create the life that we want. And gardening was getting in the way of the life that I wanted because I spend all week farming. And so to take my weekends in order to garden on top of it was just becoming way too much for me. And I decided to let it go. My garden is growing weeds and I have most of it covered over with tarps. And it's been a hard and difficult choice because there are things that I keep thinking I'm going to be missing out on. But at the same time, I'm asking my husband to grow certain things on the farm so that I don't feel like I'm missing out. And so right now I'm picking some Swiss chard to make some nice salad bowls for dinner tonight. And this makes me feel like I'm not missing out on my garden. Recently, I showed a video on my weekday routine, which includes a lot of cleaning. And that's another change, is that I try to do most of my housework during the week. And that's a lot because I have to also work. But there's nothing worse than your house getting messier and messier during the work week until it all builds up to the weekend. And that's something that used to happen to me. And so making that change has had a pivotal role in me getting my weekends back. Another aspect of intentional living is intentional eating. And you would think that because I live on an organic farm and we grow salad greens, that it's easy for me to be eating healthy and being fit. But it's actually not true if you don't take the time to be intentional with what you make for dinner. It's easy to fall back into old habits and cook food that's not good for you, even if you're surrounded by healthy food. So one of the things that I'm currently working on is my diet and eating a lot healthier and focusing on food I have around me that is organic, it's beautiful. And I actually went to a restaurant supply store and I picked up these sort of deli containers. I've been seeing these in our local grocery store with different salads in them. Things like Buddha bowl salads, Mexican salads, just different types of healthy salads as an option if you want to pick up a lunch really quick. And when I saw these containers, I just thought, oh, like that would be perfect for me considering I'm surrounded by salad greens. And yes, it's not zero waste, but it's an intentional choice because it will encourage me to make healthier decisions, and I can make a whole bunch of salads ahead of time so that I can eat healthier. And so that's what I'm doing here. And my weekends are set up now in such a way that I have time. I can decide to spend time doing whatever I want. So if I want to spend my weekend making a whole bunch of healthy food for the week, I have the time to do that. So I highly recommend assessing your life. And if you're a really busy person like me, think about some of the things that you enjoy doing, but maybe they're taking up too much time in your life. Or maybe it's just shifting things around like I did with my cleaning routine. Finding ways to organize your life in such a way that you get everything you want. Exercise is another thing that I want to start working on. And so doing things like swimming, going on walks with my kids, and finding activities that help me move my body more is something I'm going to be focusing more on. And there's easy ways to do this if you include it in other things. So spending time with my family can also be time that I'm exercising. And so being creative in that way is another way to look at it. These salads turned out so good, and all of the ingredients in the salad come from our farm except the eggs and the chicken that I used. And the chicken was just stuff that I had sitting in my freezer that I needed to use up. And I went ahead and cooked it up for these salad bowls. And then, of course, making my own dressing is crucial because homemade dressing is just always better. Another way that I free up my weekends is by not making any plans on the weekends, not setting any dates with anyone or anything like that. And that means that I am free to be living in the moment. And, if someone invites me for something or I invite someone, I can still do it, but I leave my schedule open, and that just creates a lot of space so that I can, live more intentionally in the moment and not have plans. All of my kids are growing up, and spending time with them is the most important thing in my life right now. Having the time to dedicate to listening to them, talking to them, and doing things with them is number one. And so even though I'm passionate about gardening, I have many years ahead of me where I can garden. And that is a lifelong journey that I can take. But time with my kids at home while they're still here is so, so important. And it goes by so quickly, so quickly. So I really want to be intentional in that regard. As a homemaker, there are other things that I have had to let go of to keep my sanity. I've learned to live with messes sometimes. I can't have everything exactly how I want it, especially on a big property with a big house. Sometimes things get messy. Sometimes there's recycling that just can't make its way right now. Sometimes there is a mess in other rooms that just can't be dealt with. Family life can be messy, and I have learned to accept that. I have decided to spend this evening going on a walk with my daughter, who is moving out in a week's time. And so spending time with her definitely tops cleaning. And now I'm making some overnight oats for the next day for breakfast. And this is just a typical weekend day for me. Spending time with my family, going on walks, going to the beach, cooking. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want my weekends to look like. And so I highly encourage you to look at your routines, look at your life, and make changes that make you happy. Not only am I spending more time with my family, but I'm also spending more time for myself. And I can explore other opportunities. I can explore maybe other passions even. I think it's so important to have open space in your life. And I hope this video encouraged you and gives you ideas on how you can make some changes in your own life. If you're new to my channel, I share videos every single week on homemaking, food from scratch, and life on our farm. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video.